Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Strive for Excellence. Strive for Excellence is an educational platform for students who want to excel in their life. This channel will help you out to understand the subjects more easily with the greater ease. But before starting today's topic, first of all, I would like to thank you all for supporting me and liking my videos. And please subscribe my channel those who have not yet subscribed. Your support really means a lot to us. Keep supporting and keep subscribing my channel so that I can help you out in your studies. So, starting our video of today, our today's topic is from science, that is air. I have divided this chapter into two parts, part 1 and part 2. Let's see what is there in part 1. Let's see what are the topics we are going to see in this chapter, or I'm going to explain you in this chapter. The very first one is introduction, then matter, air, properties of air, components of air and its uses, process of breathing, process of burning, air pollution and its causes and effect. And in the last, we will see the preventive measures to keep the air clean. So now, let's start our chapter. Introduction. Air is all around us, but we cannot see it. It does not have any taste, smell or color. So students, I know you know the meaning of air. That is, air is all around us. You can actually cannot see the air. You cannot taste the air. You cannot smell or color it. But what we can do? We can feel the air. So air is all around us. Human beings, animals, plants all need air to survive, to breathe. What is air? Air is a mixture of gases. The main gases present in the air are nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. Not only air is a mixture of gases, but it also contains dust particles, germs and water vapor. So when you go out for your bicycling in the morning or in the evening, sometime what happened in your eyes, dust particles also go, na? So what does it mean? It means that air is not only the mixture of gases, but it also contains dust particles, germs and water vapor. The air is having a different forms, like moving air is known as wind, a gentle wind that is known as breeze, and when the wind blows very strongly, then it is known as storm, and that will bring so much of damage to the land, property and the lives of the people. So always remember that moving air is called wind and a gentle wind is known as breeze, while the wind which blows very strongly, then it is known as storm. Do you know, children, how we measure the speed of the wind? It is actually measured by the instrument that is known as anemometer. So, anemometer is an instrument which is used to measure the speed of wind. Through that instrument only, we come to know that how strong the wind is. Now, let's see the other slide. Matter. Now everyone, you all must be very curious to know now what is matter. Actually, everything around us is matter only. Because any substance that occupies space and has weight is called matter. The three states of matter are solid, liquid and gases. So, always remember that any substance that occupies space and has weight, that is known as matter. It can be your pencil box, your pencil, table and chair. What is all that? That is matter only. Why? Because they occupy space also and they are having a weight. So that is known as matter. Now the three states in which matter is divided, that is solid, for example stone, liquid, Example, water and the gases. That is your nitrogen, oxygen or carbon dioxide and so many other gases. So these are the three states of matter. Now let's see one by one what is solid, what is liquid and what is gases. The very first one is solids. The molecules of solid are closely packed. Now you must be thinking, what are molecules? So children, all matter is made up of small particles that is known as molecules. You can see in the diagram here, the blue circles, these are what? These all are molecules. They are very closely packed to each other. These molecules do not have space to move around. Can you see here? They can move from here to there? No, they can't because they are very closely packed. Solids have a fixed shape and a fixed volume. Due to this only, solids have a fixed shape and a fixed volume. For example, brick, pencil, stones, chair, etc. All these are the example of solids. Look at the figure here very nicely. See, all these blue particles are what? These are your molecules and they are so much closely packed that they cannot move from one place to another. Like you always in a break time or in the first period, second period break, you go from one place to another, na? But these molecules cannot go from one place to another because they are very tightly and closely packed to each other. Due to this, they have a fixed shape and a fixed volume. For example, your brick, pencil, stones and chair. Have you ever noticed that your bench on the very first day is in a good condition, then afterwards it is gone to the another shape, then the third day it is gone to the another shape? No, na? You will see that chair or your bench in the same way when you have seen it at the very first time. So solids have a fixed shape and a fixed volume. Now let's see the second one, that is liquids. Liquids. The molecules in liquid substances are loosely packed. Now see the circle, a blue one. You can see now there is a space in between these molecules, the small particles. That is why they are loosely packed. A liquid does not have a fixed shape. What it do? It takes up the shape of the container it is filled in. So whenever you pour a glass of water or anything, any water, liquid, oil or any form of liquid, what you see when you put it into the bucket, it takes the shape of that bucket. When you put that water in a glass, it takes a shape of that glass. So by this you know that the liquid does not have any shape. It actually takes the shape of the container, but its volumes does not change when poured. So what happened when I am taking one glass of water and that same water I am pouring in the bucket, it doesn't mean that their volume is going to change. No, their volume remain the same. What are the example of liquids? Water, milk, oil, juice, cold drink, all these are what? These are the example of liquids. Now let's see about the gases. The third state of matter is the gases. It is the lightest state of matter. So children, after the solid and the liquids, the gases is the lightest state of matter because the molecules in the gases are very loosely packed. It means that they are very far away from each other. As you can see in this diagram, see the molecules which are in the blue part, blue circle, they all are very far away from each other. They are not like in the solid or in the liquid. They are very loosely packed. Gases do not have fixed shape and volume. They actually fill the entire space available to them. For example, when you take a flat balloon and suddenly you're going to put a air inside the balloon, what happened? It takes the space which is available and take the shape of that balloon. So they fill the entire space available to them. Whatever space is there in the balloon, a small one or the big one, depend upon that space, they fill it entirely. So what are the gases? They are the lighter state of matter. For example, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. All these are your gases. Now, let's see the another topic, that is properties of air. The very first one is air occupies space. As you know, students, when you fill the air in a tire or in the balloon, you see that it takes the shape of that tire and the balloon, which shows that air occupies space. Second one, air has weight. Children, you can see that air has weight by one example. You can take two balloons and string it with a small stick. One side you put one color red color balloon and the another side if you put a blue color balloon, what you will see that they both are having in a same weight, so the stick is balanced. The moment you are going to burst one balloon, the red one, then you will see that wherever the balloon is having a filled gas in it, it will tilt towards its side. It means it will go towards the blue balloon, which shows that air has weight. Third one, air has no color. As you know, students, by now that we cannot see the air around us, so it means it is colorless. It means it does not have any color. Fourth one is air expands. It means when air gets heated up, its particles move apart from each other and thus it expands. And sometimes you can see now when your vehicle is standing outside in the heat, suddenly the tire burst. Why this happened? Because air expands. Now let's see the components of air. Components of air. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas present in the air, which makes 78% of the air. As you can see in the picture given here, the blue circle is what is your nitrogen. It is most abundant gas, means it is having a 78%, so it is the most important, or we can say in a large quantity in the composition of air. Why? Because it is necessary for the growth of plants. Secondly, about 21% of air comprises oxygen. It means the rest 21% is oxygen. Oxygen is needed by living things for respiration, for breathing. It is also needed for burning things. Yes, students, oxygen is also needed for burning things. Other gases including carbon dioxide, argon, helium, hydrogen, etc. form the remaining 1%. So this 1% contains what? Carbon dioxide, argon, helium, hydrogen, etc. All these are made up of 1%. And altogether this is the components of air. Children, carbon dioxide makes up a very small part of the air, but it is very essential for photosynthesis. In the same manner, argon is used in electric bulbs and helium gas is filled in balloons. So this much in today's video. We will continue the next topics in the part 2. I hope you have understood this much, that what is air, matter, composition of air and the properties of air. Till then, please take care of yourself. We will meet soon with the part 2, and please subscribe and like my channel, and please do watch the videos. Thank you.